Predictions for 2024. Can you imagine, Carlo? The year is over. It's insane.
That's crazy. I know. We were just talking to the team. There's like 36, 37 production days left in the year. It's insane.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, it happened fast.
I pulled out our business plan, tactical business plan for 2024. I look back at 2023. I barely finished it.
It was a blur.
It was all a blur. It was actually all a blur.
It's not over yet, though.
No.
Still got to finish strong. 37 days.
Finish line here.
It's there.
We live below the fold. We live underneath those incredible brands.
What is the vision? Right? So like there's a story, but then it's like, where are you trying to go? If it's compelling enough, then you start to get people to believe in it.
So I thought, we come together and do some predictions, get into the end of year. We'll start releasing some numbers, how things ended up. But predictions, maybe even for Q4 and then going into 2024. But I'm going to let you go first. What are your predictions for the industry or for business in a whole? But what are the predictions for 2024, I guess, and beyond?
I got a couple predictions. So how you want to do? You want to shoot back and forth? I shoot one, you hit one. You want me to hit all of mine?
No, we'll shoot one at a time.
I have a few. Some of ours may overlap a little bit, but we'll see. The one thing, rhinestones. We've been talking about rhinestones. Actually, we were just was that on your list? Yeah, I'm sure. So it's funny how they talk about fads and style. They go full circle. They come back around. Rhinestones, man.
How about, do you remember the rhinestoneguy.com?
.com. Yeah,
I
remember that.
Rhinestoneguy.com. If you're out there, hit us up.
Hit us up.
We started the business off of your product.
Are you still in business, Rhinestone?
Are you still making hoodies with rhinestones on both sides?
Yeah. I think it's one of those trends that it fades away, it comes back.
Baggy jeans.
It's part of our story too, because we started with the clothing brand. Every style that we had in the product line had rhinestones or nail heads, and back in the Christian Audigier, Ed Hardy days. And if you would have asked us a couple of years ago, we're like, no way, rhinestones aren't coming back.
We haven't rhinestoned anything in 7 years,
and
8 years.
And we're getting a lot of requests for rhinestones. We're seeing that. And I haven't seen much of foil, but does that mean foil is coming back?
I don't know.
Because rhinestones are coming. So that's a prediction. Foil, anything shiny and bling.
A good bling bling.
Anything with a bling bling is coming back.
Okay,
so
that was good.
That was one.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the opposite way on mine here, and I'm going to say that Washdowns are here to stay.
Okay. So explain what's a washdown.
I would say that garment dye may continue to be popular, but the process is difficult. It's timely. Some way causes a lot of print issues. We've talked with Jesse. We had him on the pod. We talked about it's not dye migration because it's not polyester and it's not sublimation, but he had a term for it. But basically, it's that dye coming out of the garment as it isn't fully cured or has over dye in it. So it does make it a little bit hard. But washing down, muting colors out, and even post-print washdowns, I believe is definitely going to be a trend. I hope we're able to figure it out. We're calling in the big guns, but I believe that's going to be a pretty sizable trend as well.
Yeah. So that's putting a print on the shirt and then doing an enzyme or mineral wash after, so it beats up the print a little bit.
Yep.
Okay. Definitely. This might play into the one that I have. So this is a super prediction here, is retail, the retail business, Spencer's, Zoomies, Hot Topic, that business will pick back up in 2024. Now that's a prediction. This year, anyone in retail, when I speak to a lot of clients and a lot of different angles, that retail channel has gone down a little bit. I think it's because the year prior, 2022, was a rock star year for that. After COVID, all of these retailers took an insane amount of inventory, which was great for all of us because we're just printing retail production. But I believe that because everything changed, they took in too much inventory. So they pulled back a little bit. on the retail side in 2023. I think maybe they went through.
Selling through that inventory.
They're selling through that inventory.
I get a restock.
We're going to start restocking in 2024.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a prediction.
I feel you on that.
Yeah.
Since you're on topics that may or may not be so popular, I think I have one that definitely may ruffle some feathers.
I got one of those too.
We'll
so
see.
I got one of those too.
I do not see a significant rise in digital.
All right. I'm with you on this one.
I know digital is everywhere. I know for a moment there, everything was digital. We had that age of NFTs and people were buying JPEGs for millions of dollars and monkeys and apes and all kinds of crazy stuff. And that disappeared because the craft just isn't there.
Yes.
It was the whole point of it was that it was a non-fungible, well, AKA you can't make many of them. But who cared? Nobody cared that the serial number was that associated.
They cared for like a month.
Cared for a month. Right now, what do you do with this thing? Whereas a handcrafted product, I noticed we were both blind. We were both wearing glasses today.
That's true.
Something that I stumbled upon when I went to buy these glasses. I asked the guy, I said, Josh, why are these glasses so expensive? Right? He's like, what do you mean? These are handcrafted in Japan. I was like, you mean they're not just on the assembly line in China somewhere? Not these.
Not those.
Not these Dita glasses. Are handmade in Japan by a person, crafted. I'll take them. Right? So
I like it.
I do feel that SEPs are becoming more and more popular. We just hung up a call all about SEPs, making SEPs incredible. The craft of doing separations, and just like Michelle, I sent her some of my creative that I've been doing with prompts, and I have that later here.
Yeah.
If you can prompt anything, then everything that you can't prompt will become more and more important in the world.
Yes.
You can't prompt separations. You can't prompt screen printing. You can't just stick a JPEG into a machine and go. And so I know this is going to be,
ruffle a feather or two.
Counter. I still believe that there is a place for digital. We have digital machines here.
Right.
We believe in them. I just don't think that's the trend.
Let me take that one a step further. So digital. Shout out to all our digital people out there. We have digital presses, like you just said. A step further, I had the same one on my list, but from a customer perspective. Digital, I think there's a big craze on demand. So pitching brands on demand. Have an on-demand store. And trust me, there's a market for it. There's many people that are successful in it. But as a brand, I think they're going to wake up and figure out that if you're a brand that's actually selling units, selling volume, that on demand, those margins are worse for you. If you print in bulk, if you're actually selling inventory, you take an inventory stance on your best selling garments, you're going to put more money to the bottom line. You're going to be able to ship to your customers fast. And of course, we're biased, but the quality is.
And if you have speed to market.
To market.
Even what if you could get bulk at the same timeline without doing one of one?
I think on demand pitch to different brands was a shiny object. You can have multiple products. You don't have to take any inventory stance. But when you start to actually sell and you're making money and merch is a serious part of your revenue stream, print 2,000 of those. You're going to pay 2,000 piece pricing. So maybe you're selling on your on demand, you're selling $20 and you're giving up $18 of that. You're making $2. Nice. Yep. You have no cost, no inventory costs.
And I think on top of that, any brand that is doing this seriously for a living doesn't need to spray and pray across 38 products.
Exactly.
We could all come together, look at a line sheet and say, these 4 products are going to be the hottest sellers.
These are the best sellers.
And if you've been doing this and you know your audience for any amount of time, you should be able to know, let's not do 38 products, analysis paralysis. Let's do 4.
Let's do 4
and blow them out of the water.
That's the prediction. Brands are gonna understand that volume is key. They're gonna buy better, and so that's one.
Okay, this one is also in line there. Again, for you decorators out there, I apologize. You're not gonna like this one, but I do see multiple positions, maybe plethora is better.
I got that one too.
A
Yep.
plethora of positions. So there was a while where it was like, I'm a minimalist myself, so it was like, go minimalist, right?
You're the opposite of a minimalist.
one nice, beautiful little line here, but that's not what I'm seeing in the market. That's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing giant front print, left sleeve, right sleeve, bottom, side, back, front, inside tag, woven, multi-plethora positions moss.
Right. Well, that's yes, I agree. I had that one on my list too. I was wearing one of those garments that we did that had 11 positions on it. 11 positions. I won't mention the artist.
Why so expensive?
Why so expensive? Yeah. Well, that's the point. So the reason you can turn that into a positive if you're a decorator, yes, multiple positions, sleeve, 2 sleeves, front, back, that's more difficult. But guess what? The perceived value is higher.
Agreed.
And not only is it perceived, the actual value is higher. You're going to charge more for a 7-position print than you are for 1 position.
Yep.
It is more difficult. You have to take it off the press 7 different times. You charge more for it, and the customer has a better resale value.
Yep. Okay. I guess I have to go in line with you.
Mm-hmm.
I see collectibles. Michelle's with me on this one, I know. Collectibles, tangible ones. Again, I'm not talking JPEGs on the internet. Yeah, sure, you can put them on the blockchain. Yeah. I'm talking about a physical piece of art, whether that is a T-shirt or a hard good, or a canvas,
poster,
or a poster. Yeah. I'm seeing collectibles become more and more popular. I did watch that Netflix, The Collectible King or whatever it was. Did you see that one?
No, I see that
man,
one.
It's great.
It's good.
I mean, people are buying Yogi Bear card, for $4 million. Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I mean, just like if it's a piece of
nostalgia,
yeah. It is becoming more and more popular. And in the very near future, our glasses are going to project, not in the now future,
right.
but are going to project giant screens, and you're going to pick stuff, and the autonomous vehicle is going to pull up, and you won't ever be able to replace that piece of art, or that piece of history.
That physical object.
Physical object is going to become more and more popular.
I like that. I agree, especially in the industry that we play in. Music industry, entertainment. Fans. They're fans, and they want that physical memento to take home with them. So I'm 100% in line with that one for sure. The other one that I had that kind of plays into that as well is price point. I think customers and even consumers at the end are willing to pay more for a quality piece, right?
Agreed.
And I think like there was a time there where it's like cheap. Like let's produce as cheap as possible. And I think you get the product, you get what you get at cheap. But I think more consumers, more customers are going to care about the quality a bit more.
Yep.
And obviously everything's always cost effective. You have to think about cost, but if you think about the value, that value travels all the way down to the consumer. So it might cost a little more, but I think consumers want to pay a little bit more to have a better piece like you were talking about.
Agree.
Which might lead us into one I know that we both have been talking about is heavy. Heavy garments. That's the world that we play in.
Yep.
What do you think about that? Like where do we go in the heavy conversation?
I don't know if it's as heavy as it was.
Okay.
I think
that's a prediction.
That's
dropping a couple ounces.
I'm dropping a couple ounces. Not that I couldn't use dropping
not
a couple
physically.
ounces myself. I mean, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
That's actually my plan.
A
Q4,
pound.
a couple ounces, drop a couple.
How many ounces in a pound?
But I believe that 2023 was the year of ultra heavy. And I think maybe that comes down to more of a normal weight.
Okay.
Not like normal. I don't know. Maybe like this sweater that I have on is at least somewhat of a decent weight rather than this giant, heavy blanket that I'm draping and giving myself a panic attack.
Tight neck.
Yeah. Like yeah. I do see, but I don't believe that. What was that? Burnout.
Yeah.
I don't believe Burnout's coming back.
No
right?
Burnout.
No Burnout.
What was it called?
Burnout.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah,
Burnout.
the Burnout.
Slub tea.
Slub tea, yeah.
Burnout. No,
Yeah.
no, I don't believe a Burnout's coming back.
We'll watch.
Um,
Those are hard to print.
But but I'm with you on that. I got another one, that goes in line with your quality thing. In our industry, we talk so much about like the band, the artist, and I see that the artist or band is merging into an actual brand, and I see that actual brand could live on far past their time. And
Okay.
so I think the way that people look at like, oh, this is an artist, and that artist is either touring or not touring, making money on merch, collectibles, hard goods, soft goods, whatever, or not making money. And I see an evolution where, take Jimmy Buffett, for example, right? He has hotels. He has
Retirement homes.
resorts,
Beer.
it all. Parrots, special, brand of parrots, out of parakeets. I don't know.
Monetizing.
He has everything. He is a brand.
Yep.
And that brand is not subject to touring. Even though he was the king of touring, he was the king of, unreleased music, have to see it live.
Yeah.
His brand lives on. So I can look at, some of these younger artists, like a Travis Scott or The Weeknd, or, many of those that may remain unnamed right now,
Right.
but they're creating actual brands that will carry on, we hope, past their life of tour. And to be on tour at all times, every year, making music, I mean, if you're not Drake himself, is complicated. Whereas if you can take a Jimmy Buffett line and you say, like, create a brand that has endless capacity and capabilities, that it lives on.
Those brands that live on forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My last one I have that kind of fits in line with the Jimmy Buffett is high color count. Again, sorry, screen printers, we're one of them. High color count is, I don't see that going down. I don't see it going I don't see product lines dropping to 1 color, 2 color, although we love those. Any customers listening, we all love a nice 1 color, 2 color print. But high color count, we're talking 10, 12, 13, 14 color prints. And I think that all comes back to that perceived value. Higher color count, we're charging more for that. You charge more to the customer and down to the consumer. So that's a prediction that high color counts continue to grow. I know we just put in an 18 color press ourselves.
Yep.
Again, it's painful when we talk about multiple positions, high color count, and all these difficult things. But that plays to our favor on the cost benefit.
So that was very merch centric, I think, but I thought we can go into some general business as well, predictions.
Cool.
And still, obviously, this podcast is about merch. It's about the culture that lives on or in and around it.
Yep.
But there's a business to operate, no matter if you're an artist or if you're a tour manager, or if you have a shop of your own or a reseller, whatever the case may be, you got to operate a business. So I have some business predictions as well. I'm sure you'll have
I can
plenty
flow.
to
I can
flow
flow.
with.
So you got a business corner here?
We got business corner, Rich's
right.
business corner right now too. So one of those, the first one at the top was that I do see that there is, I think this happens maybe every other generation. I don't know if it kind of skips a generation because what is like popular or like pop culture kind of can remain the same. But then like an 80-year-old is not going to pay attention to something that a 13-year-old is, right? Maybe a 20 and a 40-year-old,
maybe,
right? But either there's this giant leap here, and I have like the rise of Gen Z artists.
Okay.
Now, like the next Juice WRLD, the next teen or young 20-something coming in, and again, all those other predictions that we had, like building themselves as a Taylor Swift billionaire level brand. And those young artists become very, very highly sought after.
Agreed.
Because if the band did not do the job as, again, Jimmy Buffett has, and they stop touring, it's over.
Yeah.
And now it's the shift to the Z.
To the Z, the Gen Z. I heard a stat that like within a couple years, 60% of the workforce will be Gen Z. So that kind of plays to your
Yep.
point there. I wonder how many are going to be artists, and I guess creators are actually the other lane,
Yep.
right? You have YouTubers and people with massive subscribers that are in that generation that know that they can monetize through merch. So it could be a creator as well.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on the creator side. I mean, it is insane. Watch these guys go after seltzers and chocolate and,
yeah. Burgers.
Yeah.
Restaurant.
I mean, underwear, the NBA, bras with nipples. It's unbelievable.
A little bit of everything.
It's like there's no limit
Yeah.
to what creators are going to take
Once
over.
you have an audience, you can monetize anything. So
Yeah. The next one, I thought that is like, this is in line with music as well, but I think just impactful across the board is streaming service and the influence on streaming, whether that is streaming live events. All of us got to watch like U2 at the Sphere, or how would you pronounce
Sphere.
it?
Yeah, that's the Sphere.
Sphere. I did it. I still want to go. It would be awesome to actually, like, for real life, but I felt like I was there already. They streamed it so well.
Right.
So what is the impact in business that can be done and merch sales that can be done through streaming services, I think is, definitely significant.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that can get pretty deep on how you can capitalize on any kind of sale, merch or what have you. So yeah, that Sphere thing is awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. So let me see. What is the last one I have? The only other, like, on the business side, we were talking about, being able to prompt AI. I really feel that music as its original craft done by the actual artists, merch as its original craft done by artists as well, and having very high level of engagement kills anything that can be automated.
Right.
Or it's easy. I could, unfortunately, the cat's out of the bag even on some of our emails. Like I could tell every time when somebody human didn't generate that
right.
email.
It's too good.
It's too good.
It's written way too well.
It's too good. It's easy to point out. I'm sure it'll get better, but for the time being, I think, authenticity is probably the not just near future, but the far future.
I think AI can be a subject or an episode all on its own. We can dive deep into that. Like when I was at the PPAI show a couple weeks ago. Yeah, there's some experts out there. People are diving into it, but like people were handing physical flyers to me when I was there.
Yeah.
And then they would tell me that they use Midjourney or whatever service is to create that entire thing. I'm like, wow. And to take it further, like using AI on your sales strategy, your messaging, like it can go deep. So that's a whole subject in its own for sure.
Well, cool. All right.
Awesome.
Well, that's pretty much predictions. Thank you so much for joining us. But you know what? Like, let us know. Who do you want us to have as a guest? Drop some comments for us, please. This is Q4 for us. So, you could expect content to come out of Culture Studio when the doors are still on the ship.
That's right. The race to the finish line.